Hi everyone and welcome back to moreveggiesmom.com. Today for dinner I'm going to be making a coconut curry, and to go with it I wanted to do a dessert of blueberry lemon chia pudding. This is a recipe that I got from yumly.com and it is so easy, so let's get to it. For this recipe, you need 1 cup of coconut milk. I always like to use canned, and the reason being is that I can use the fat to make whipped cream later for something. If you just are really careful with your can, don't shake it up or anything, the coconut fat will solidify on the top, and you can whip that. Just whip it with your hand mixer, just like you would heavy whipping cream, and then add powdered sugar. And that's good on pancakes, crepes, whatever you'd like. And then, after I take out that fat, I'm left with just about 1 cup of coconut milk. You can go ahead and measure it if you'd like, or if you want to use a different kind of coconut milk, you can. So go ahead and put a cup into a bowl. Then you're going to need lemon juice. That is 2 tablespoons. Fresh lemon juice, make sure it's fresh. 2 tablespoons of maple syrup, and it has to be real maple syrup. 1/4 cup of chia seeds. And then we're just going to go ahead and give that a good stir. This is what it will look like. All mixed together. I do have a few chunks of coconut fat, and that is totally fine. Now you are going to want 4 small containers. You can use ramekins if you have them. I don't, so I use teacups. And I'm also using frozen blueberries, but you can use fresh. But you do 1/4 cup of blueberries into the bottom of each container. And then you're going to evenly distribute this among the 4 cups. Then I just put them onto a tray, or in this case, a small casserole dish. And I will cover them with plastic and put them into the fridge for 8 hours. So here is my blueberry lemon chia seed pudding. As you can see, I topped it with a few more blueberries and a little bit of lemon zest just to make it look fun. And this is going to go perfectly with my coconut curry. So now I'm ready to actually start my curry. I have a lot of chopped vegetables here, and I'll show you those in a minute. But first I wanted to demonstrate how to peel ginger. So you actually just take a spoon, and I know that sounds weird, but as you can see, I broke this off of a larger piece, but you just need to kind of lay into it with the spoon and it'll peel right off that way. I have heard that it's not altogether necessary to peel them, but I don't like the skin, so I've always done it this way. So you go ahead and do that. Once you have it all peeled, you can just go ahead and mince it like you would garlic, but if you have one of these zesters, that's also really easy. Actually start with the grating part down, so that when you go like that, try not to get my fingers here, it's going to catch it inside instead of like putting it over your cutting board and doing it this way. So there's both options. You can just put it over the cutting board and grate it like that, or upside down and let it be caught inside. So I have cut here about 1 stalk of broccoli. It's 1.5 cups of small florets. I have 1.5 cups, or about 2 carrots, thinly sliced, about 1/4 of an inch. I have 3/4 cup of sugar snap peas. You can also use snow peas. I just don't like the string. Like, they have a string that I can't seem to bite through. And then I'm pulling stuff out of my mouth. So anyway, I use sugar snap peas, and I've just cut them in half. I also have 1 Roma tomato that I have small diced, 1 onion that I have diced, 4 cloves of garlic minced, and a tablespoon of ginger root. Once your vegetables are all chopped, you're going to want to get some quinoa. I'm doing 1.5 cups. It's going to turn out to be 4.5 by the time it's cooked, because your quinoa will always triple. So if you don't want 4.5 cups of quinoa, don't make that much. But this recipe is for that. So 1.5 cups, and I need to rinse this really well for about a minute in a fine mesh strainer. If you choose not to rinse your quinoa, it will be really bitter, so definitely rinse it. Okay. Now I'm going to go ahead and stick this into a medium saucepan. And we want 3 cups of liquid, because you need to do twice as much liquid as you have quinoa. And I'm going to do coconut milk. So I have done the same thing that I did for the pudding. I was really careful about not shaking the can, and then I scooped out the fat from the top. This is going to give me just over 1 cup in each can. Okay, so I've got 2.5 cups there, and I'm just going to fill the rest with water. So this is the best way I have ever found to cook quinoa. It's always fluffy. It always has that nice pop that you want. So I'm going to go ahead and put those together in the pot. Turn it up to high. Let it come to a boil. And once it's there, you're going to turn it down to a simmer and let the whole thing, all of the liquid either be absorbed or boiled out. And now we can get started on our veggies. So you need some oil, about 1 tablespoon of oil into a large pan here. We're going to go ahead and turn this to a medium heat and let that get warmed. And then we are going to put all of our veggies in there. So my camera decided to stop working on me for whatever reason, so you didn't get to see me put it in. But I only dropped 2 vegetables. That's huge. I am so proud of myself right now. Oh, and you know, a couple onions right here. That doesn't count. Anyway, so you get all of them in there, and you are going to stir this frequently for about 5 minutes until they get nicely softened. And mine is almost there, so I'm going to start explaining the next step. Today I am experimenting. See, I have this curry powder, and that's what I usually use, and it's a tablespoon of curry powder if that's what you're using. But I have a foreign exchange student this year who is from Thailand, and she brought me some curry paste. When I tried it last time, it was way too hot for me, so I can't just do the curry paste. So, if you're doing paste, just paste, it would be, I believe it said 3 tablespoons of curry paste equals 1 tablespoon of curry powder. But what I'm going to do is 1 tablespoon of the paste and 2 teaspoons of the powder, and we'll see how that works. So I'll just give this another stir. They look like they're good to go. All right, we're going to stir that in a little bit. Try to keep my vegetables from browning. Now I have 1 cup of vegetable broth. I'll put that in there. And 2 cans of light coconut milk. These ones I did shake up. I'm using the whole can. I did not remove the fat. So I shook it before I opened it. Pour both of those in there. So now I'm going to turn the heat up and let it come to a boil, and then I'll reduce it to a simmer. And simmer for about 10 to 15 minutes. All the water is absorbed from that now and from my quinoa, and I'm going to cover it right up and I'm going to let it steam off heat for 5 minutes. It took my quinoa about 20 minutes to completely evaporate and absorb the water. If you are doing less quinoa, it should only take about 10-15 minutes. So I'm actually going to move this over here. I have been stirring this periodically while this was cooking, while the quinoa was cooking, and then I went ahead and tasted it, and I decided that I want to add some more salt. Also, even just 1 tablespoon of that the Thai curry paste was too hot for me, so lesson learned. I will just be using the powder, but I definitely want to get some salt in here. After the 5 minutes, go ahead and pull that off, and you're going to fluff it a little bit with a fork. Oh my goodness, I can already tell it's going to be perfect. I'm going to go ahead and taste a little bit here. Yep, fluffy, has a little pop. Here is a closer look at our coconut quinoa and our curry. So here is our quick coconut curry and quinoa. I like to serve mine with naan, which is Indian flatbread. I hope you enjoy it.